Everything starts going wrong. It seems that life is against you. But what if it's actually not a punishment? What if it's actually a wake up call from your inner self? When people are having difficulties in their own lives, a lot of times I see that there's a confusion between who is actually in control of their life. So a lot of people are thinking that there is a separate entity, separate force. Well, usually they're calling it God, and that this is basically, why are you doing this to me? Meanwhile, there's no understanding that you're actually a part of that source, God, universe, energy, or whatever you call it. So today I want to explain to you how on earth are we connected to that powerful source, to God, and how actually that really helps us to understand what is happening, especially when certain difficulties are happening in our life, and how to navigate them in the best way possible. So the purpose of understanding it easily, first off, I want you to understand that this higher self, that part God of you, is actually you. So just imagine it as a separate person from yourself, and imagine that that person, this is you. So that person has absolutely everything you ever wanted throughout your life. So whenever you actually wished for something, that person immediately got it. So this person is actually someone who cares deeply about you. So example, you actually have that connection with that person. This person is always, if you imagine video game, that person is actually from a third person perspective, and it has two buttons to push when it's playing the game, the life through you. Meanwhile, all the time, like it's living the best life, the life that you always wanted, but also its main focus, main job, the goal of the game, you can say, to lead you towards the life that you actually want, the one that actually your inner self lives. So by those two buttons, what I mean, the one button is for cold and the other button is for hot. So those cold and hot is essentially what leads you to the things that you want. So your higher self sees where you currently are, and its goal to lead you by knowing everything that it knows, what is happening in the universe, all the resources in the world your higher self actually has. So it sees the actual path of how you can actually get to everything that you want in life. This is the purpose of your higher self. So those two buttons, hot and cold, this is essentially how it gives you an emotion. Cold means that you're feeling negative emotions. Don't go there. And hot meaning an indication that you want something, that you feel positive, that you feel excited about. Those two buttons are literally your sixth sense of where you need to go in order for you to get where you want to be, and where your higher self is rooting for you to get there. Because this is, yet again, this is your higher self's main goal, for you to get what you want. That's it. So there's so much love, so much appreciation that comes from this higher self. And especially when it already sees and it already has and it already lives everything that you want, it knows how great that is. So let yourself be led by this inner self. So when you're looking into your life and you have particular situations that you're, oh my God, it always happened like this, it always happened like that, think about it. If your inner being doesn't want you to be there because it knows that somewhere else is something better out there, your higher self is basically making sure to push that button that you would feel negative emotion. That's all the purpose is. That negative emotion is basically saying, go in a different direction. This is not for you. This is not where you want to be. But yourself in your body, not having that broader perspective, not having an understanding maybe what those negative emotions are, you are still hitting the same wall by going in the same direction, by experiencing more and more pain. And of course, you're experiencing more pain because, like, hot and cold game, right? If someone is leading you and saying like colder, 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 like they're making sure to intensify that feeling, this is the same principle. So there's a brilliant saying, follow your bliss. So your bliss in this situation is actually following something that feels good for you, that feels exciting for you. And you're thinking probably, okay, like I have so many problems, I cannot just ignore them and everything. But the thing is that a lot of problems comes from because you're not in the right place. This is why it's not aligned to you. So you have to start actually tapping into something that is good for you. For me, someone who is actually coming from a background where everything felt bad and I didn't even have a distinction of what feels good. And I never even went for the things that felt good for me because I was so familiar with feeling bad. The feeling of feeling good actually felt unsafe for me. So I had to first heal and I had to actually go through my childhood memories. So this is what I did actually when I was 25 years old. And only actually after I figure out inner stuff, I actually made sure to make peace within myself with certain situations to release and allow that energy to actually shift from negative to something beautiful, positive, and get the insights from those particular situations. So this is where I allow my core vibration to actually be in a good feeling state. When I'm in a good feeling state, it's actually very easy comparatively to negativity to follow the things that feel good for you because as momentum goes, right? You start from small steps and then when you actually tap into it, the better you feel, the less bad you want to feel. Whenever something feels bad, you're going to immediately get that signal and you're going to understand that your higher self, the sign from the universe is essentially that bad feeling that this is not for me and my direction is different direction. So in order to do that, and you actually feel like you're the one who usually stays in that negative kind of loop and your momentum is in that negativity, this is the best tool that I've found actually so far. So this is Teal Swan, the completion process. So you can actually grab her book and everything is very in detail what you have to go through, what kind of process you need to do. So essentially you're going into your childhood memories and you're helping yourself to solve those problems, to feel them out, and you're allowing to change that core vibration in yourself, change the core beliefs. And this is where your vibration starts increasing and you're able to actually follow through those signs, those instincts that you have of feeling bad and feeling good. And you actually can start building from there. If you want, I actually do one-on-one sessions with my clients to actually improve their core vibration. So feel free to reach out. I'm going to leave my email down below. But other than that, you will absolutely be covered with this particular tool. Another tool that I really recommend is also from Teal Swan. So I will put her video down below. It's actually called the emotional feeling process. So make sure to check that out. And you can even start doing it immediately and start working on that vibration. However, I really ask you to be patient, be very kind, and be very loving and gentle to yourself because this is going to be a process. Since you are working with something that you've been living with for so long, you have to be patient with yourself. You have to be kind with yourself and allow that process to take place. And you're going to see the shifts happening in everyday life when you reach that state of feeling good or at least feeling neutral. This is where you actually are able to move to the next part. So the tool that I'm talking about is actually something that I found from Abraham Hicks. This is where we're seeking of better feeling thoughts. So let's say you're someone who's been just neutral for a long time, nothing is changing, everything is kind of good, kind of stable, but let's say you're kind of bored in the situation, right? Since we're looking into a neutral state. So for you to actually get an understanding how to work with this, so from neutral state, you try to find what feels better for you. If we're looking into this, you have to find a little bit like a small improvement on each statement in order for you to feel that, okay, this is actually true and it allows me to feel better. So what do I mean by that? Let's say the original statement is nothing changes and I'm feeling a bit bored. So you can change it. Even though I feel a bit bored, I kind of enjoy that I can relax in this type of state. Even though I'm bored, I actually have a mental capacity to explore new things that I might enjoy. And you just see what really truly starts connecting with you and you start ramping up from there. Or let's say you actually have a job that you have been there for a while. It's kind of good. You don't mind it. Like everything seems all right, but you wouldn't mind something more exciting. So in this particular case, you can say, so original statement, right, is I'm bored of my job. So from here, you can actually start improving your vibration by statement like, even though I have had this job forever, anything can change any day in a positive light, because sometimes you cannot know where certain opportunities can come from. So this way you actually tap into a possibility of just someone coming in and I don't know, just offering you a job, or I don't know, maybe inside of your current position in your current company, meaning there's some kind of opportunity that is exciting. It's very subtly opening the opportunities for something different to happen. And you can in that way tap into a little bit more excitement, and just that starts boosting your energy to a more positive side, right? So you have to start taking advantage of it. So in order for you to understand this a little bit better, there's a couple of things the way Abraham does it in certain type of examples, but two things that I really, really liked, and I really start to understand this concept, and I actually use it on my mind a lot, especially if maybe either something is a little bit slightly to the negative side, so I can turn around it very quickly. Either if I see that, okay, I want to expand something a little bit more, or I feel like neutral about it, this is where I use it. So this is what Abraham does. And I have found a couple of videos just for you to understand how this process works. Or the best thing, I'm a book nerd, so I really loved her book, The Astonishing Power of Emotions. So make sure to grab it, and it's absolutely brilliant. So it's going to be enough for you to see what it's all about. So moving forward, and the tool that I'm going to give you is actually going to be meditation. But however, before you're going to do that, first of all, I want you to come to the point of meditating, of taking advantage of this tool, because it's not going to be a meditation where you're just, oh, you need to calm your mind and everything. It's a little bit different type of meditation. So only when you feel positive, or at least a little bit into the positive side, this is where you're going to start taking advantage of it, because it's going to be the most powerful and the most fun for you. This is where you're going to start tapping into the reality that you actually want to experience. Because the moment you're going to start feeling your reality, the one that you want to experience, this is where you're going to start things moving for you, and you're going to start going into that direction even faster. So this is where you're connecting with your inner being in a very powerful way, because you're actually connecting with your inner being by seeing where your inner being is, and you're strengthening that relationship with your inner being, with your higher self. And this is where everything starts to align even better, even faster for you. So very important thing here to know, that you don't have to stretch yourself to the reality that you want to live to the max, like all of the details, everything like very specific, because if you're still not believing that it's possible for you, and you're just in a positive emotion about anything, doesn't matter, maybe you just laughed your ass off with a friend, like that is going to be enough for you in order to start tapping into this powerful tool. So where do you need to start? First, start noticing what you already have, particularly right now, that is a part of a reality that you're going to have later on. So for example, I don't know, let's say you love reading books and you want to live somewhere on the beach. So have you ever been on a beach before? Pretty sure you have been on a beach before. Do you have a book right now? Do you already enjoy reading books right now? Yes. So it's very easy for you to already see that, okay, this is actually my future and I'm already familiar. So you start connecting the dots from where you are now to where you are in your future, in your desired future, and you start connecting from that point. So eventually, when you're going to start ramping up more and more things, you're going to see that it starts coming automatically from actually your inner being, the glimpses of how everything comes together, everything that you ever wished for and everything that you even forgot about, because your inner being never forgets anything that you ever asked. It has everything in alignment, all the pieces for it to all come together into one beautiful piece, which is your life. So you don't have to figure out how everything will come along and so on. You just have to allow itself to open up in your meditation, right? So you have to just start tapping into what is already familiar for you. Just ease into that feeling, ease into that satisfaction, right? And everything else will start ramping up. If it doesn't start in a day or two, that's completely fine. You have to, yet again, grace, patience, kindness, and just understanding that you're learning a new thing. If you've never done anything like this before, you just have to be very patient with yourself. And with time, you're going to feel the ease and joy with it, that you're not going to be, there's literally going to be a force that you're so excited to do that each and every day. And I remember when I was doing this before I met my man, I was doing this every day. I didn't even see him actually in my mind. So I'm more of a, rather than visual person, I'm more of a feeling person. So I only was tapping into feelings of how it would feel like to have someone who likes me next to me, someone who I have fun with. So I only tapped into feeling. And then when I had that feeling so strong, it actually became my core vibration. I didn't need to even meditate on that anymore because I felt that it's already there. I felt that I'm so happy, so in love with everything, that I was living it. So meditation was something that I made from unfamiliar to familiar, and that familiar became a part of me. And then that started to reflect in my reality. As you know, right? Law of attraction, this is how it all works. So this is the whole purpose of this particular tool. And if you have any more questions about it, please feel free to let me know and I will help you out in the best way possible. To finish this off, I just want to remind you that you're never alone. After you understand, and hopefully that explanation that I gave to you in the first part of the video really helped you understand where everything is coming from, and just the fact that you always feel those emotions, doesn't matter good or bad, it's the indication that you are never alone, because someone is constantly, continuously guiding you towards everything that you want. You just need to start building that trust that this is you. This is someone who wants the best for you. This is someone who already knows by where they are how good there is, and they wish you the absolute best as well. And this is where their main goal of their purpose, right? To guide you to where you want to be. I think you should start feeling so much relief, so much ease, just to keep on tapping into understanding of this. And yeah, it should make it easier for you to get into this guidance. It should open you up when you understand that when certain things, where you get rejected somewhere, where something starts crumbling down, that those things, they are not for you anymore, because something better is waiting for you. And this is how you yourself, your higher self with all the resources in the world, are trying to tell you, go there, because this is where you want to go. I know you cannot see it yet. I can see it from the higher perspective, from third person perspective, and I know where you need to go. It does take time to start building that trust, to start feeling good about new things that you're doing in new ways, because usually, like, sometimes when I especially had massive changes in my life, I went where it was feeling good, but it was so unusual for me. And I know that someone from outside looking, I know because it literally happened, that people were saying that I am crazy, though it literally brought me all the things that I wanted up to that point. So start working on that trust, start working on actually balancing out your internal alignment system, start getting in tune with your higher self, because you always can tell when you feel bad or you feel good. And this is why you're watching this video, because something doesn't feel that great, most probably, unless you've just been watching my videos. But other than that, yeah, make sure to start working with yourself, start listening to your higher self, because it has only the best interest in their heart for you. So if you want to actually get to know a little bit more about guidance system, I'm going to add my video either here or here. I don't remember which side is it. So make sure to check that out. Other than that, talk soon and thank you for watching.